It's been a short while since I did my last Operation Protect the White Boy, and I know there's been a few that have come across my way in maybe the last couple of weeks, but this one definitely really stuck out to me. And this is actually more of an update than anything, and I don't know if I even talked about this when this initially happened last year, but in case I haven't, this is my opportunity to address it now. So in this picture, you see a man by the name of Daniel Thomas Warren out of Oregon, and he brutally beat a black man who was a food truck owner in the face during a racial attack. This man was only sentenced to 3 years behind his attack. Now, more information has come out, not so much about what initially got him the 3 years for what he did, but apparently he also has a violent criminal history dating back before this. Now, I have no clue right now until I read the article what his violent criminal history is, but you know they always like to reach back into history for us to try to use that as a way to give us more time, even though it has nothing to do with what black people were being sentenced with anyway. A white Oregon man accused of brutally attacking a black food truck owner in southeast Portland last year has been sentenced to only 3 years in prison, a Monotma County Circuit Court judge ruled on Wednesday. Daniel Thomas Warren, age 40, pleaded guilty to 1 count of third-degree assault and no contest to 1 count of first-degree bias crime earlier this month, according to the Monotma County District Attorney's Office. A bias crime in Oregon is the equivalent of a hate crime. Both crimes are C felonies in Oregon, meaning Warren faced up to 5 years in prison and a fine of up to $125,000 or both. The charges stemmed from the racially motivated attack on Laurel's Chicken Shack owner Darrell Preston on June 15, 2023, during which Warren spewed racial slurs at Preston outside of his food truck while the small business owner was delivering food, according to the Portland Police Bureau. The judge informed Warren that he has to complete a set of rehabilitation programs and drug treatments requirements to address the crime, Preston attorney Alicia LeDuc Montgomery told Atlanta Black Star in an email on Wednesday. This case underscores the power of community-led justice. The swift and decisive action from Portland residents sent a clear message. Victims must be taken seriously and those responsible for bias-motivated violence held accountable, the attorney said in a statement. Reading that part right there tells me that if it wasn't for the community pushing for this to happen, nothing probably would have happened to this dude, or even to the extent of what he got. So that just shows that the community was pretty much on code, because if they did not say anything, it sounds to me like they would not have done really much of anything to this guy. They probably would have gave him a even more bigger slap on the wrist than he's already receiving. Warren has a long criminal record in Oregon that includes assault, coercion, harassment, and strangulation. The unprovoked attack last year unfolded in broad daylight on the sidewalk in front of Preston's business and was captured on surveillance footage and cell phone video from the witness. "I hit you, N-word, stay on the ground," LeDuc Montgomery previously quoted the attacker as allegedly saying. Darrell was attacked by what onlookers described to be a skinhead, according to Laurel's Chicken Shack Facebook post last June. The post said that the suspect attacked Preston, who was 36 at the time, from behind and stumped his face in. What a cowardly act on this individual. The attack left Preston with a fractured face, a broken nose, several lacerations to his eyes and mouth, Atlanta Black Star reportedly previously. Preston's attorney said last year that despite witnesses to the attack driving by, no one stopped to help Preston. A video from TikToker Michael McWhorter was credited with helping police locate Warren, who had left the scene of the attack by the time authorities had arrived. McWhorter's clips show Warren beating and kicking Preston while drivers were heard honking their horns. LeDuc Montgomery said in a previous statement to Atlanta Black Star that Portlanders spreading the word of the attack online also contributed to authorities finding and arresting Warren, who was taken into custody on July 2nd. The Preston family has appeared at the sentencing hearing and read a victim impact statement describing the lasting impact of the hate crime on the family. Preston said growing up on the west side of Chicago, he was never before afraid to go anywhere or be around any type of person, but the attack he experienced has changed that. After being attacked by Daniel, I now look over my shoulder 3 or more times everywhere I go, which aren't many places or even that often anymore. I won't even sit with my back facing the exits at a restaurant, afraid of the unknown of what's behind me. So see, now this is the mental and psychological impact that has had on this man. He's already been physically tortured. Now he's mentally fractured. And who knows how long this is going to last. That's why I always say that the mental impact is always going to outweigh the physical. This man most likely has already healed from his physical scars. He might still have some things there, but it's probably not as bad as, definitely not nowhere near as bad as it was based on imagery. But mentally, he's still feeling the effects of what this guy did to this day. And he's going to be feeling like that for quite some time. He says since he's woken up on several occasions with deep sweats from nightmares of that day, which I wish never happened, wrote Preston, who said his facial injuries still remind him of that day. His customers regularly check on him, he said. Because of them and their support and belief in me, no matter the tragedy that happened, I continue to serve my community and be the example of a kind-hearted black man my mother raised and my wife and daughters need, Preston said. Donations toward a GoFundMe campaign set up to help Preston had reached more than $92,000 by Wednesday. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the link pinned down below so y'all can donate to his GoFundMe. But man, I keep telling you, Operation Protect the White Boy strikes again. And here you go. Here's this coward right here, had to sneak up from this guy behind and start to hit him and attack him in the manner in which he did, because he's a coward. That is a very cowardly act to do. When you do sneak attacks like that, or when you're jumping somebody, that is a cowardly act because you couldn't face them head on. You had to get them when they weren't looking. And you not only are a coward, but also in a scenario, if you are a coward and more so a bitch, if you attack somebody from behind and that person manages to get clear of you and then gets the best of you, you're a coward for doing that, and you're a bitch because you got your ass beat even after you had the quote unquote upper hand of attacking them from behind. I hope the worst happens to this dude wherever it is that he is going. Make that be the worst 3 years of his life. Make it as miserable as humanely possible for someone who isn't even, in my eyes, a human being. And they keep trying to say, oh, racism doesn't exist anymore. Why do you keep talking about white supremacy? This, here you go, case in point. This black man was just minding his business, running his business, and you have this random PC man just come up from behind and just start attacking him for no reason, other than he wanted to attack a black man that day, and the best way that he could do it was to catch it from a sneak attack. Now, I looked at the physical frame of the guy he attacked. He looked like if this man would have caught him head on, this black man probably would have beat the shit out of him. But because he knew he probably didn't have a chance, he attacks him from behind. No reason for why he did it. He just said, you know what? This is my opportunity. And I'm gonna tell you something right now, and I think I said it before, but in case y'all never heard it, let me say it again. A lot of these white supremacists who have a staunch hatred for black people, one of their biggest fantasies is for them to hit a black person or beat them. That is something a lot of them wake up on their mind. Is something that they can, if they literally can wake up one day and say, man, today I hope I catch a black person slipping so I can go and attack them. A lot of them have that weird twisted fantasy. They'll never say it, but I bet you that's what was on his mind that day. Let me just go out and attack some random black person. And see, this black man was a soft target for him only because the black man did not see it coming. It was a sneak attack. He caught him from behind when he wasn't looking. And now this black man, mentally, he feels like he has to continuously be not so much on guard, because you should always be on guard, but mentally he feels like he's in prison. He said he doesn't go out as much as he used to anymore. When he does go out, he has to have his back to, he can't have his back to the door because of fear of someone coming behind him and attacking him because of what this guy does. He says he has nightmares from what happened. Again, goes back to what I said. mental impact will always weigh more heavy than the physical. The physical you can heal from, but mentally that moment for him is going to be etched in his mind for the rest of his life. And what's even more sad is the fact that this man, they stated in the article, has daughters. He has a wife. So not only is his burden his own, but his burden is now also onto his wife and his children because of what this piece of shit did. So it doesn't just affect him as the individual, it affects those around him. And because his wife and his daughters live with him, they got to deal with it too. And that's the even more unfortunate part of this whole situation. It's bigger than what this guy just did as far as attacking him. That's bad enough. But the impact that it left and the stain that it left on the victim and his loved ones is going to be even worse. Because now it almost feels like they were the ones that was attacked as well. It's like a collective unit deal. And a lot of people don't take that into equation when these type of things happens, but it affects everyone around them. But like I said, as far as this dude goes right here, I hope to God he gets exactly what's coming to him. Let someone sneak attack him wherever it is that he's going. I'm willing to bet it won't be anywhere near what he did to this guy. It'll be way worse.